It was back to business for our parliament. Although the pandemic instigated truce between the government and the opposition was evident, with the usual barbs delivered with apparent good humour. It was revealed by the government that it's looking at models to be able to continue offering the stay and play facility, but the summer sports programme will not be taking place this year. On the number of government flats allocated over the lockdown, 16 were handed over to people on the waiting list whose needs had been exacerbated by the situation. 5 for GHA bed management, 4 to the charity Women in Need, 1 to the elderly residential services for the building of the isolation unit, and 6 to those with high-risk living situations and frontline workers. The government also gave details of the MRI scanner it had ordered in June last year and cancelled this month. It said the intention continued to be to repatriate MRI services to the ROC, but these could be contracted out. During lockdown, over 1,000 screenings and 157 surgeries have been postponed, with the GHA expected to be back on track by the end of the year. Still on the subject of health, an exchange ensued following questions on Pioneer Healthcare Limited, which supplies personal protective equipment to the GHA, with the health minister confirming it had been introduced by the former medical director Daniel Casaglia. In answers to questions, Paul Valvan also confirmed there were GHA employees with a direct or indirect interest in companies supplying PPE to the health authority, saying it was not unusual in a place like Gibraltar. The Chief Minister intervened to say they were, however, not involved in procurement and were outside the decision-making. The number of available swabs and therefore testing capability was also revealed. There are currently over 25,000 swabs and the ability to perform almost 54,000 tests. More are in order and should arrive in the next 4 to 6 weeks. 55,000 antibody tests have been ordered in batches of 5,000. Some are already on the ROC and ready to go. When these can be used will be up to public health. Antibodies take time to develop, so testing prematurely would be useless. However, the tests do have a short shelf life, with after the summer mooted as a possibility for the start of testing. It was also revealed there's been a study into the mental health impact of the lockdown and that Bruce's farm would reopen in 2 weeks' time. The contact tracing app is to be tested next week, with the government giving assurances that it requires no new legislation as it's decentralised and as such does not store or share data. Traffic and the closure of Linewall Road took up its fair share of the debate. Designs on what will follow the closure and the plans for a greener Gibraltar to be made public in the following weeks.